I'm not fluent in English, so if you don't understand something, please let me know. You can stop me anytime, make questions. And let's start. So why super witches? I really think super witches are the strongest army in Town Hall 12. Uh, and part of this is they are very good against multi-target infernos. There are a lot of good armies like mass witches, witch bats, hybrid that are not so good against against multi-target infernos, but super witches are basically mortal. The usual composition of the army is the base of the armies is four super witches and at least four healers. Healers with super witches are incredibly strong. They basically don't die. At least two looms for testing for black bombs. I usually use five healers and three looms. Uh, Sometimes you use four healers and a nice golem to tank while the big boys don't spawn. So if there are some X-bow, ground X-bow that will target the super witches before the big boys spawn, it's better to use ice golem. So here is a common standard composition. Four super witches, five healers, three loons, uh, minions and wizards to clean up, wall breakers to break the first wall, and a giant or hog to tank for fire fling. So if you we use fire fling, I always bring giant or hog to test and an wizard to clean up some skeleton traps. If we will use barracks, this is not necessary. You can bring more troops to clean up and something like that. Uh, Usually I use two jump spells and the rest Zapquake to take out one inferno in a compartment that is hard to break in. So let's go. I will show some videos and some thoughts about the attack. In this base, we have multi-target inferno here, the eagle, a single target inferno in the middle, and another multi-target inferno here. So my thought is use flame flinger to clean all this space. We always start with warden walk. It's very important to the warden walk be a high level. If you have a level 20 warden walk, you probably will time fail. So super witches are basically with healers are basically immortal. The easiest way to fail is time failing. And the idea is basically I need to access all the compartments with the jump spells. So I will try to clean this with the flame flinger. I will break here with wall breakers. Use a jump spell here to access all this compartment, and use a jump spell here to have access to those compartments and the last compartment. And clean up the sides, most of this side with the king. So I use the giant to test and to lure the mortar. And here I start the water walk. The biggest advantage of warden walk is he will follow the super reaches when you place the super reaches. You, we could done that with queen walk, but in a case like that, with the queen walk, probably the queen will patch to outside instead of follow the troops. It's very important to the healers start following the troops instead of uh, the warden or the queen. For anyone that use super ballers, it's basically the same strategy. Talking about that, I think super riches are more really resilient than super ballers. They basically don't die. Even a single target inferno, if they lock in a big boy, this doesn't matter. We will spawn another big boy later. If a single target inferno lock in a super bowler, we need to freeze it. If the single target inferno lock in a super reach, we need to freeze it. But super reaches are slower than super bowlers, so time really matters here. So that's why I didn't freeze the single target inferno, and I have even another freeze that I spend out. Here is only cleanup. In that base is a very different layout. This base has been scouted, so I knew that there was a Tesla farm here. My idea was take down the Tesla farm, this Inferno with the Flame Flinger. And here we have a lot of damage. A lot of damage, but here we have two multi-infernos. So my idea here was to zap quake all this area, take down the eagle, the ground X-bow, and the both ground X-bow and this X-bow, and basically this would lead to a perfect path for the rest of the base. So I would use one jump here to have access to those infernos, uh, funneling here to bring out the troops from here to inside this compartment. And I didn't know how I would reach the town hall, so I will bring another jump just to have access in some form to this area. So I used a giant to bring the Teslas. I missed one Tesla, so the flame fling it took more damage than it should. And here I start the warden walk. Of warden walk from queen walk in this case is that the range of warden walk, the healers don't take damage from air defense. Here, here I placed the healers in the wrong spot. Since I knew the UU patch this way would be way better if I place healers here to avoid any damage from Monetary Inferno or air defense. And downside, I use the King and Super Goblin to take down this, to pet all the troops to here. The problem with that attack is that I don't have raid spell. And raid spell really help to speed things up. Um Even so, the rest attack is basically up. The troops force here and can access this area, so I can place a jump spell to have access to the town hall. And I make a huge mistake here. I place all the cleanup troops in that area, but I forgot an army camp. The minions will go to army camp and be destroyed by a red bomb. Thank God, in the last second, Queen can reach it. So this part is very important. I learned a lot with my mistakes. It's very important to see all the places to place the minions or the cleanup troops. In this record, we have some compartments. This area is clear, has a lot of damage. One grand bolt, all the heroes, another X-bow. Uh, Here we have another ground X-bow. Ground X-bow will outrange Flame Flinger by a lot. X-bow will outrange Flame Flinger a little bit. So place Flame Flinger here is not ideal, uh, or here. Here we have two ITs in, but it's pretty obvious that there is some traps here. To unprotected, basically unprotected ITs, it's pretty obvious. So my idea was, and this base had been scouted, so I knew where was the Tesla farm. My base was take this area with Flame Flinger, uh, start the Warden Walk here, uh, enter, use a jump spell here, take this down with Zap Quake, and basically if I take this down with Zap Quake and this with Flame Flinger, the base is only there. So it will be very easily. The placement of the jump spells are very important. So if I place like here the jump spell, the troops that was there could get out and don't go for the town hall. But this attack I made some mistakes because sometimes improvising is better. So think about that. I bring just three wall breakers to test loons, one headhunter because of those heroes I would enter from here, six zaps and one quake to take down this ground X-bow with the Tesla, and two jump spells, one freeze. Uh, this is important. Poison is not really necessary. If you, I need to take you bring one poison or one rage spell is way better because while in rage with healers, the super riches are basically immortal, and they can take down an air troop. I think this is another advantage of super riches from super bowlers. Super bowlers can't take an air troop, but super riches can. So you really don't really need the poison spell. Another important point is I will start with the flame flinger and warden walk, and then I will do the rest. Since time fail is a problem, I will not start like zapping quake this area to place the troops later. So here there is a lot of damage, so I use it the raid spell. Here here's the problem. I didn't clean up this area, so my queen go out. My plan was to place the jump spell here, but was clearly better improvise and place there to bring my queen to the town hall. And the worst part, I placed the jump spell, but all the troops go to other direction. They simply don't care about their jump spell. Speed up, and thank God the hogs in the set machine save all this attack. That was only point defense, so they could reach the town hall. And this is how bringing at least one freeze is very important too. In this attack, it was against Town Hall 13 Rush base, but it's important because I used a siege machine, siege barracks. In this type of base, I think it's way better to use siege barracks, just because trying to clean up for funneling with a grounder walk a base like that is probably will time fail. So here we have some heroes. Here we have some single target infernos. Single target infernos really can fry the super rigids, and a multi inferno here. I could have used flame flinger to try to take down one part, but my thought was I can take down this single target inferno and the X-bow with zap quick, and here that there will be no side damage. I could clean up this area and use the siege barracks to clean all this. Since there are only point defense but low level, the king could reach basically all the base and bring a wall breaker to destroy this area. One jump spell to have access to all this area, and another to have access to the town hall to the last compartment, and the damage here wouldn't exist without these constructions. So here I had two headhunters too because of the horror champion, and I bring some super goblins to sneaky goblins to help to funnel, but I even forgot to place them. Single target since it locked in my queen. Um, in those places that you see the town hall locking in the big boy, this really don't matter. We don't need to freeze in that spot. And here, basically, there is no more base. For this attack, uh, we have two single target infernos, X-Bow farm here, a multi-target inferno here, the eagle, uh, two heroes here. I would like to know if you would plan this attack with super riches, how you would do that? Anyone? It was what I did. Basically, in this base, all the damage that matters is here. All the damage. So yeah, a flame flinger here to funnel this area, and like I said, we have two single target infernos that can be a problem, but with the warden ability, some freeze and rage spell. Remember, the raid spell is for damage and for healers. We can clean up this easily, and if we live here, we take it down the rest of base without any problem. So yeah, the base. This is the simple idea. I tested with the giant since there just to see if there was any Teslas. Here I use Sneaky Goblin to speed up. I always use Sneaky Goblins to farm, so that's why I always bring some Sneaky Goblins and help it to create a pet. But if you need to use another Super Troop, probably a Super Wall Breaker is better than Sneaky Goblins. This matter. King normally is used to clean up the side, but here it was everything all clean up that I basically used uh, everybody to the damage area. The loons to protect the healers from any black bomb, and a jump spell here to have access to everything, and another jump spell here. And here the base is gone. There is nothing that can stop super riches now. Only a time fail. So the last video I bring was a fail. That's because I usually learn more with my mistakes than with my succeed. For that base, my plan was use the flame flinger here. Here we have a little problem that is the X-bow, but my idea would place the king before the X-bow locked in the flame flinger, so king could take down this entire area. The flame flinger would take this and this multi-target inferno. Um, I would enter for this compartment. I would make a jump here. This is important. One way that we can fail with super riches is when they spread out. Healers focus in one super riches, the other super riches die. So if I place the jump spell here, there is a giant chance they will spread out. So placing here, they will keep in this compartment. Another jump spell here, and the base would have gone easily. But I made some mistakes. I had two sneaky goblins to help to funnel those storages. Here, the first mistake, I placed the flame finger in the range of the archer tower, so take some unnecessary damage. had another mistake. I placed the king instead of the queen in this area. The king was to tank this area. Here I place another mistake. This jump spell give access to that area. But I think my biggest mistake here was I, I didn't clean up this area. So instead of all these troops go to inside here, part came from here. From that, they leave the base. All these super riches die here, and they start to walk around the base, and will be a time fail or a complete fail. So I think this is the most important lesson with super riches. You need to have a clean path. You need to take down the outside constructions. You need to put them together in the center of the base. Use wisely the jump spells to don't let them spread out. So is this everyone? Hope you enjoy. Uh, did you have any question? Yes, I use bring hogs just because they are fast to clean up the uh, last defenses. But sometimes I think it's not a good idea bring the hogs. Like let me see if I have attack. Like if I know that the hogs will pet into a multi-target inferno or like I had one last attack here. So like in a base like that. For example, let's say I would place Flame Flinger or Siege Barracks here. The Hawks will pet into two Wizard Towers and one Bomb Tower. They will fry the Hawks. So in that case, have two Wizard Towers. I have this air defense would be taken down. Maybe I could bring a Dragon Rider or usually we need some fast troops, so bring Yetis are not ideal. That's why I think hogs are the number one choice. But using maybe loons or a dragon rider make a lot of sense in some bases. I knew Town Hall 13. This attack was with Royal. I think it was with Royal Champions. But usually the most scary defense to super riches are single target infernos. Super riches can live from scatter shots. So basically, we'll try to clean everything. What I think is most important to place Royal Defense, Royal Champion, uh, to have access to a compartment that Super Riches can't. So they clean up and you bring the minions to finish the buildings. I think I use more like that than to have scary of some defense take down the super witches. So I hope everyone enjoyed. Thank you. Um, let's clash.